Hello and welcome to That Suite. My name is Sarah Emery and today I'm sharing a simple scheduled script for mass deleting records. In my last video, I shared a trick for using a saved search with inline editing enabled to delete records in bulk. While that approach works great for deleting even hundreds of records at a time, there are situations where you may need to delete thousands of records, which gets a bit tedious when done through a saved search. In these cases, I like to use a simple scheduled script, which I can either trigger automatically on a recurring basis or manually as needed. And don't worry, this option is easy enough for even non-technical users to set up. Just as I did in my previous video, I've started by creating a transaction search. I've already defined my search to identify sales orders in pending fulfillment status that were created today. You can define whatever criteria is needed in order to limit the results to only the records that you want to delete. But if the record that you are trying to delete is a transaction record, just be aware that you will need to include criteria that limits the results to only a single record type. The results columns are not particularly important, but I always recommend including columns that will help you to validate that the resulting records are the ones that need to be deleted. At this point, we can turn our attention to the script. So I'm going to drag in a new window here. The script that I'll be using in my example is from SuiteAnswers. I will post a link to the article in the description for your reference. There are 3 changes that I'll need to make in the script: the function name, the record type, and the search ID. I'm going to set my function name to delete sales orders. Just make sure that whatever value you enter here has no spaces in it. I'm going to enter the record type. Since I am deleting sales orders, I know that my record ID is sales order. But if you are not sure of the ID that you're looking for, you can find the IDs for standard records in the records browser, while custom records will use the ID listed on the custom record definition. I'll include a link to the records browser for the current NetSuite version in the description below. Lastly, I will need to set the ID from my saved search as the search ID. So I'm going to come back to NetSuite, edit my search, and copy this ID here. Jump back to my script, and here I'm going to paste in. At this point, I can save my file, and I'm going to call it sales orders to delete, and I'm going to add the .js extension at the end. That indicates that this is a JavaScript file. At this point, my script is complete, so I need to load it into NetSuite by going to Customization, Scripting, Scripts, New. I'm going to open this in a new window. I'm going to add my file. And then I'm going to click Create Script Record. I'll select the scheduled script type and I'm going to enter my name. So let's call this sales orders to delete. Add an ID. And in this function section, I need to enter the function that I specified here. So delete sales orders. Okay. At this point, I will click Save and Deploy. If I wanted to schedule this script to run on a recurring basis, I could set that up in this section down here, but for our purposes, I am going to leave it in a not scheduled status so that I can go ahead and execute this ad hoc. Let me just enter an ID here. Now I will click Save. I will edit the script. And if I hover over Save once again, after the initial save, when it's in not scheduled status, I now have this additional option to save and execute. So I'm going to click this option, which will immediately execute my script. And while this is pending, I'm going to jump back to my saved search. So we had our 5 results here. I'm going to refresh this. That's in processing status. Okay, now it is complete. The more records that you are deleting, the longer that it will take to complete. I'll jump back to my saved search and click refresh. I can see that all of my sales orders have been deleted. Just as with the saved search approach that I showed in my last video, records will only be deleted if there are no dependencies, so I recommend defining your search with criteria that will exclude records that include dependencies, such as the status equals pending fulfillment criteria that I used in my search. This same approach can be used for other record types by modifying the record type and search ID values. This is a great way to delete large numbers of records quickly and requires minimal coding to get up and running. Really hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, or if you have ideas about other topics you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment below. Also, make sure to subscribe for even more NetSuite tips, tricks, and helpful hints. I will be back again next week with another video to help you live that sweet life.